My stance on this is when a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants.
Mel, reaction to that?
Well, you know, I know they were messing with the water, letting reserves go for one reason or another. They've been doing that a while. California has a lot of problems that sort of baffle the mind as far as why they do things. And then in the events like this, you sort of look, well, is it on purpose? Which, it's an insane thing to think.
Hey, welcome back to the channel with your man Wise. And today we're going to check out this interview between Mel Gibson and Laura Ingraham. He absolutely goes off. He exposes the California government officials from Gavin Newsom down. He talks about some of the losses that he had, you know, from these disastrous fires. But Mel Gibson is going viral. Yes, hate him or love him. He has a checkered past. He is a part of Hollywood. But we got to see this because truth is truth. And sometimes it doesn't necessarily matter where it comes from. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. And without further ado, let's get into it.
An interesting.
You've heard, yeah, you've heard the.
Go on.
You know, both. You know, you've heard a lot of people say a lot of things about these fires. Obviously, the winds were horrific, but they were predicted. I know you know that last weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they said this could be tragic with these winds if there any fire starts.
Sure.
Do you believe in what you know so far, anything could have happened like this?
Yeah, well, one always suspects that this might happen, but one thinks that the resources, you know, and the capabilities of the men and women will be on standby, that they'll be able to cope with any situation that comes up. But apparently, some people were asleep on the job, mainly our leaders there. But, you know, that's something they have to live with. And but that's something that community has to live with. And it's really sad. I mean, I have many friends that are, you know, looking for a place to put a roof over their heads. And kids, and, you know, they're traumatized. So, someone should answer for it, but we'll see. I think we know who the culprits are. In fact, my son he's a member of the volunteer fire brigade. He sort of interfaces between LA County Fire and people, and they assist them where they can during, before, and after the blaze. And apparently the residents in Corral Canyon caught an arsonist up there. And the guy was all tooled up with fire gear and equipment and stuff like that and ready to go. And he had been lighting fires. But they corralled the guy in Corral Canyon and gave him to the police. So
yeah, apparently.
Yeah, they caught a guy with a flamethrower setting Christmas trees on fire. And they basically, you know, hand slap and let him go. For the life of me, I just don't understand why California just refuses to prosecute criminals. I just don't understand it.
That
actively going around looking for these conditions. Yeah,
apparently, Mel, that individual was never charged. It's a very confusing set of facts because apparently he was reportedly trying to light things on fire, but it's not the fires, I guess, that they. I mean, it all seems very bizarre. But they have not ruled out that arson could have started the first fire. There's obviously still investigating this, and at the same time, Mel, there are numerous complaints, as you alluded to, that the fire hydrants did not have water or water pressure, and the LA fire chief herself reacted. Watch this.
My stance on this is when a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants.
how does the fire chief not know how the water gets to the hydrants? Now, it may not be her responsibility to make sure that there is water in the hydrants, but you should understand the functionality of the hydrants. I would assume that that is your job, ma'am. Everybody out there in California is passing the buck. The fire chief, the mayor, the governor, everybody's passing the buck. You also have a lot of people that are like, don't put this on Karen Bass. Don't put this on. Everybody's getting the smoke. Everybody. It's not just one person who failed. There's a lot of people that you could point the finger at, top to bottom.
Mel, reaction to that?
Well, I know they were messing with the water, letting reserves go for one reason or another. They've been doing that a while. California has a lot of problems that sort of baffle the mind as far as why they do things. And then in the events like this, you sort of look, well, is it on purpose? Which it's an insane thing to think. But one begins to ponder whether or not there is a purpose in mind. What could it be? I don't know. Do they want the state empty? I don't know.
Well, Mel, there's already talk, and we played a couple of sound bites of reimagining the way rebuilding occurs. And obviously there's a great need for high-density housing in California and across the country. That's a big push by the climate folks. And you're already hearing rumblings of that. In this case, like goodbye single-family homes, hello high-density housing.
The crazy thing is that these 15-minute cities that are starting to be talked about by these climate change warriors, they want these 15-minute cities. And when I first heard about these 15-minute cities, I was wondering, I was like, how are they going to make this happen? And then a situation like this, and you find out that, half the fire department gets chopped up. You find out that, State Farm and other insurance companies, cut fire protection from a lot of people. You find out that there is already somewhat of a plan up to 2028 about 15-minute cities out there in LA, out there in the California area, more or less. And it just makes you wonder. I don't want to sound like some conspiracy theorist. And I need to do some additional digging and some research, and that may be a video that will come out in the very near future. But could this be an evil plan to force people into these 15-minute cities? Could this be could this have been the plan all along? And the fact that the insurance companies saw this, forecasted it, and got out, and yet the government officials, one, didn't do anything about that. Two, the people who live in these areas, when you find out that you lost your insurance, your fire protection insurance, and the fact that houses didn't go up for sale or people didn't start complaining to the governor, the mayor, it's just baffling to me. Now, one or two things. The people that live in these areas didn't know that their insurance had been stripped. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they did and just assumed that something like this would never happen. But I mean, it's just too many coincidences for this not to be like planned. What do you guys think about this, man?
Yeah. It's pretty scary, and it'll take decades to do that too. It's like even if it if it's a good idea, which I don't know if it is, but reminds me of the old cattle barons clearing people off the land, But I don't know. I can make all kinds of horrible theories up in my head, conspiracy theories and everything else, but it just seemed a little convenient that there was no water, and and that the wind conditions were right, and that there are people ready and willing and able to start fires. And are they commissioned to do so, or are they just acting on their own volition? I don't know. But they seem pretty well equipped, some of these people that they're catching.
A lot of questions. A lot of questions, Mel. Mel, a message tonight.
Yeah, you know, I'll sift through the remains of my place and see if I can find any clues for you.
Mel, any message from you to Governor Newsom or Karen Bass tonight?
Spend less on hair gel. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, what can I say to them? Not big admirer of either, but there you go.
Now, Mel, I know multiple shows and films have been put on hold. Everyone's livelihood has been put on hold, been involved in these fires, affected by the fires. And I know you have a film, Flight Risk, that's coming out in just 2 weeks. First film you've directed since 2016's Hacksaw Ridge, which we love. The Ingram family loved Hacksaw Ridge. So what can we expect with the industry going through changes already with these fires affecting production? And I can't wait for this film.
Oh, sure. There's going to be, I think, people will have to adapt. I mean, very few things are made in California now anyway. I mean, over all these years, the playing field never really got leveled as far as, tax exemptions and all this advantages and you could get from making film here. So, production goes on in the various places that it does. And I think for the industry, times of crisis have always been good for the entertainment industry. Not that I'm saying any crisis is good, no, but I think people want, they want to be entertained during those times, and they like escapism and just things for pure entertainment, which is what I was trying to do with Flight Risk anyway. It's just a pure entertainment piece. But
well, we need it. We need pure entertainment. And Mel, you know what else we need? You know what else we need, which I cannot wait to talk to you about at length, is the resurrection. And I know you've been working on that for quite a long time. But how wonderful it will be for us to have the resurrection in film. And what can you tell us briefly?
Yeah. Briefly? Wow. It's an ambitious thing, and it's after working on it for 6 or 7 years with Randall Wallace and my brother, all of us kind of contributing to the writing. It's going to be something that I hardly expected. I mean, I think I told Joe the other day. He said, "What's it like?" I said, "It's kind of like an acid trip, but you're dealing with big stuff and big questions in other realms, and it'll certainly be theologically and visually and artistically for me challenging. But you got to step up to the plate and take a swing, right?
Oh no, Mel, you've never done that. You've never done that in your career. Mel, I'm so glad that you're okay. You've helped me in times of crisis. When I was going through cancer, I will never forget. You called me and gave me really great words of wisdom about treatment, and you were so fabulous all those years ago, 20 years ago, actually. And so I thought about you.
Man.
It was 20 years ago. That's how long I've known you. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a long time. Yeah. We've not aged at all.
You're doing it up here. You're doing that up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
20. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Tough out there for those people, man. Passion of Christ was a good film. The Resurrection, wow. That sounds like that's going to be a tough film to put together. Most movies aren't really shot in California because of all the regulations. Georgia, there's a lot of your favorite movies are being shot and produced, in Georgia. So because of the tax exempts that they offered in other places around the country. But that situation out in California, man, it's a mess. It really is. And, a lot of people out there are at a loss of words. Obviously, Mel, his family, they've lost a lot, and so many others out there. Kim Kardashian or the Kardashian family, I won't say Kim, but the Kardashian family, they are now calling out, Mayor Bass and Gavin Newsom and Governor Newsom as well. And, people are looking for someone to blame. They're looking for someone to take accountability. And not I don't know if that would change anything. I mean, it definitely wouldn't. I do think that both Bass and Gavin Newsom, they should definitely resign immediately. I don't know if that will happen. I highly doubt it will happen, just because, neither one of these people are, taking accountability for any of their non-actions. And it's just a mess out there, man. And everybody's pointing the finger at everybody from the top down. Everybody's pointing the finger. The fact that the fire chief got on there and said she don't know how the water gets into the hydrants, that's just ridiculous, man. That's in my opinion, that should be part of your job. Maybe you're not responsible for the actual water itself being in there, but you should know how it gets there, where it comes from. And I would assume that they're also responsible for doing the test. If not them, I would assume that she at least gets a report that the tests have been done. The incompetence is just on 1,000 out there, in California. And back to those 15-minute cities, honestly, I wouldn't put it past any of these people. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't put it past any of these people that they look at this travesty as an opportunity to push their radical, woke, climate change agenda. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. Hey, keep God first. Prayers to all of those who have lost everything, those who have lost family members. Our thoughts, our prayers are with you. Our condolences are with you all. Hey, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp.